21st of June 2018 marked a momentous occasion for the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, following the rebranding of the former Sport FM into Classic 263. This event had been in the pipeline for some time, and the launch marked the culmination of the efforts of ZBC's management team and staff in transforming Sport FM into Classic 263 with the catchy tagline, "Now We Talking." Invited guests from a cross-section of society graced this auspicious event and were witness to the transformation of the station, an important transition in the history of radio in Zimbabwe.
For us from CZI, it is a privilege and honor to be recognized and to be part of this transformation that you are undergoing. We believe we have been partners, and as we have taken this new route, we believe we are still going to be your partners. For the partnership that we have had before, it has served us well, and we are confident that it is going to serve us even better.
As multimedia, we are the leading media buying house in Zimbabwe, and we would like today to congratulate formerly SFM, Classic FM 263. We have worked with SFM and ZBC in general for a very long period of time, and we enjoy the mutual relationship we have. And as such, this morning, I would like to congratulate everyone behind the scenes.
The guest of honor was the Deputy Chairperson of the ZBC Board of Directors, Dr. Cleopatra Mtisi.
Welcoming the guests, the acting head radio services prepared the guests for the transition from Sport FM to Classic 263. The station has a long-standing history which has had a major impact on the terrain of radio broadcasting in Zimbabwe.
The station we are gathered here from used to be called the SFM, but from today, probably by 12 o'clock, every jingle will change, every sound will change. We have changed some things from SFM to Classic 263. You see, 263 is about Zimbabwe. This is your station. When we say, now we are talking, we are not saying we were not talking, but now we are beginning to talk in a way that all of you are going to acknowledge that indeed we are talking.
With an impressive lineup of DJs and producer presenters, Classic 263 is set to appeal to a broader audience through a mix of talent that is representative of the demographics of its listenership countrywide.
How are you doing? My name is Kutsi Maluta, Mr. Cool for the Cool and Chew Show. And I'm the partner in crime. My name is Lucas Matema, the Chew Man for the Cool and Chew Show. Check us out from 12 noon till 3 weekdays.
But known as Nyari, that girl from Bikita, and we are together on Drive 263 with Mark D. McDonald.
Hilton Mabise, our best Montrose Wobulawayo. In the world of sport, I'm the utility player. Anything that the boss says is done in Bulawayo, I do the gentleman. Thank you.
I'm Olinda Nkashira, the classic bay, the controversial one. I do social issues.
My name is Florence Kariza, aka Miss Flo. I'm going to make sure you flow with the beats, flow with the talk, but most importantly, flow with the station.
The Chief Executive Officer of ZBC, Mr. Patrick Mavura, gave the invited guests an overview of this strategic move by the company in pursuit of the ideals of corporate excellence by the leading broadcaster in the country.
The new station, which is just about to be launched in line with the government's Rapid Results Initiative, I'm confident that we are the leading broadcaster in the nation. To give a clearer picture of the successes of our radio stations, please allow me to reflect on the recently released ZAMS results, which were released on the 20th of February 2018. Radio Zimbabwe, popularly known as Huru Yadzo, Nefenyuro Yevanhu, Umsakazo Wabantu, was found to command 41% of the market share. National FM grew its audience by a massive 9 percentage points in the year 2017, making it the fastest growing radio station in the land. Power FM maintained its torchbearer status in the Zimbabwean music industry. You will agree with me that the station is growing, increasingly gaining popularity. I'm sure we can feel the power. On Friday, the 2nd of March 2018, as an institution, we added a new radio station to our portfolio, Kulumani FM, affectionately known as KFM. Based at Montrose Studio in Bulawayo, Kulumani FM broadcasts in Ndebele and English, as well as 5 other national unique languages to the Matabeleland region, namely Tonga, Sotho, Kalanga, Venda, and Xhosa. I am excited to note that this new station has already garnered an impressive following. Ladies and gentlemen, all of these developments are testimony that as ZBC, we are committed to fulfill our mandate, which is to educate, entertain, and inform the nation through our programming. However, you will notice that from all the developments and the successes of the radio stations I have mentioned, one appears to be missing, and that is Sport FM. I'm pleased that it is for this reason that we are gathered here today to unveil a whole new identity for SFM. Ladies and gentlemen, from the surveys I have mentioned, you, the owners of radio, came forward and gave suggestions on how we could reinvent Sport FM so that it can be competitive. Today, we unveil to you Classic 263, a vibrant, exciting, engaging, and progressive station, just as you asked. We are confident that in no time, Classic 263 will be dominating the ZAMS charts.
With state-of-the-art facilities and studios, Classic 263 promises to deliver the best in talk and music to its valued listeners countrywide.
Delivering the keynote address, the guest of honor was full of praise of the innovation that was exhibited in the rebranding exercise. This development confirms ZBC's status as the leading broadcaster in Zimbabwe.
The reinvention of Sport FM, as we all know it before, to Classic 263. I think the name Classic 263, I don't know how management, got that name. It's modern, it goes with times. I think it was the right name. Since the 1890s, when radio was added to the world as the latest form of communication, the medium has helped in providing entertainment, disseminating information that saves lives in times of emergencies, bring development to marginalized communities, help in promoting gender parity as well as foster national unity. Though the electronic broadcast industry has seen rapid transformation since the turn of the millennium in developments that have seen other forms of communication being overtaken by events, radio has remained resilient. Because we at ZBC realize realize the importance of radio as the most powerful communication tool in the world, it is pertinent for us to move with the current trends and continue to grow our audience. We realize that it is crucial for us to remain entertaining and relevant, and therefore we are always looking at how we can achieve these fundamentals. Today is an example of our commitment to enrich the lives of our audience through investing in radio. Those who have gone to the studio, we saw modern technology. I've been in that studio before, but what I saw today is technology at its best. Today we unveil a whole new identity for Sport FM, a new character specifically designed to achieve our mandate. Today we launch Classic 263. Carrying the mandate to have programs which all Zimbabweans from across the country will freely participate in, Classic 263 is a talk radio station that will engage the nation through refreshing discourse and analysis on current affairs with courage ranging from politics, business, agriculture, mining, sport, arts and health. The station will speak to the issues and realities that define us as a people of Zimbabwe. The birth of 263, Classic 263, is timeless in light of Zimbabwe's current political situation. The new path that this station has decided to take comes at a very crucial time in the history of our country. As you all know, we are preparing for the national harmonized elections that will be held in our country on the 30th of July 2018. Such moments require disciplined and responsible media that values and promotes the unity of its people more than focus on personal gains. It is through media platforms such as Classic 263 that our nation can engage and encourage to uphold and promote peace throughout such processes. I have no doubt in my mind that Classic 263 will be an example of what a responsible radio can do in helping the country to go forward. Ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, join me in congratulating the entire management team at ZBC for such a great achievement and this remarkable milestone. I think we need to clap for them at this point. Without doubt, this is Zimbabwe's #1 talk radio station. I hereby declare Classic 263 officially launched. Now we're talking. Ngatibuye.
The guests were then taken on a tour of the rebranded studios and got an opportunity to see firsthand the transformation that had taken place from Sports FM to Classic 263.
Once again, so this is the rebranded Classic 263 studio. I will share with you what inspired the concept in this room. Classic 263 is a talk station. So you'll see on this side, we have an interview going on in progress. Then we'll also have music. So that is what inspired that wall.
So of our guests will be coming through. This is the lounge, and so far we'll just then keep entertained while the presenter is also getting ready for you to go on air. This is one of the rooms. Then the other side, that's where everything happens from. This is where there's a noise, your desk, and where you'll be grilled for those who've been grilled here before. And then obviously coming to look at everything that's associated with the technical side. It's all based on the other end.
The rebranding exercise was informed by audience research, which was the basis of the transformation of SFM to Classic 263. ZBC prides itself in being sensitive and responsive to the needs of its various stakeholders, especially its valued audiences across the length and breadth of our country.
Definitely, as an institution, as a corporation, we are really excited by this new development. We've been planning on this rebranding of Sport FM of a period now. What actually informed the rebranding of Sport FM was what we got from the audiences. We conducted surveys. The first one was in 2015. I think you are aware that ZBC, we had gone for a very long period of time without conducting an audience survey. So when we did that in 2015, the message that came out clearly from the audience was that Sport FM was losing its audiences because of the fact that it has not been changing for a long period of time. You know, Sport FM used to be called Radio 1, if you remember. It had a target audience of mainly those that had retired, right, and those that were enjoying their pension. We are not saying that audience is no longer there, but because of the changing times, this audience is actually migrated to also liking what other stations are sort of like programming, and this is what the station did not do over time. So as we were now implementing the recommendations from the audience survey report, the issue of rebranding Sport FM came about. At a strategic level, we agreed on rebranding this station and relaunching it, re-energizing the station. That is basically what we are doing today.
Classic 263 will offer its listeners a wider variety of programming and music tailor-made to suit their tastes. The station will offer hard-hitting current affairs programs, lifestyle shows, business reviews, and for the music lovers, there is an even wider array of genres to suit their fancy.
At Classic 263, we are upping the tempo. It's not just a slow tempo. We are now into the medium tempo and sometimes even the fast tempo. Of course, it won't be like a power FM, but there will be great hits, the classic hits that were actually played in Zimbabwe and actually worldwide. They'll be played at Classic 263. You also look at the presenters that we had. Mostly the audience that we were targeting was the so-called mature listener, which I say has not been defined well, because it would imply that a mature listener would be listening to slow music. But we decided to widen or broaden the listenership gap to say, instead of concentrating on those above 40, let's also take care of those at colleges, at universities. So listenership is now starting at 21 years going up. And we want those people where we can engage in engaging discourse with the college students, with the working class, with the business community, the corporate sector, and whoever. So we have changed the music type, we have changed the way we talk, we have even changed some of the presenters to bring some new ones who are younger, who do even appeal to those who are in their 20s.
And there is always something in a name, and the choice of Classic 263 was not without careful thought. This new brand in the ZBC stable captures the soul and the spirit of innovative thinking and adaptation to the environment.
This is a name that is obviously coming through to look at the way things have been happening in Zimbabwe. We want to get the best of the talk. We are a talk station with the mandate of 60% talk and 40% music. So in terms of our operations, this is how we're going to sound. So the way we will be sounding, obviously, we're looking at creativity amongst or from our producer presenters who will give us innovative ideas, who will give us something that rejuvenates radio. Crazy ideas, some of them will call them. But the whole idea is to say at the end of it all, we want the robust talk that will indeed steer the nation to debate. the nation will be kept talking, as our motto says, now we are talking. So with all those things coming on board, what then we are actually hoping to achieve at the end of it all is that we become the #1 talk radio in the country. And definitely this is one of our priorities.
The Classic 263 brand has essentially reconfigured its audience by widening its reach. The audience profile has been upgraded with the express intention reaching out to a broader listenership.
Then Radio 1 became Sport FM, but people later on just referred to it as SFM. But with the developments, you look at the coming in of new players in the industry, the deregulation of the broadcasting industry. There were so many players. Some of these players have names that are almost similar to SFM or Sport FM, so that there was some brand confusion with people referring our dearly beloved SFM to other stations. They were like confusing it with other stations. So looking at other things and the researches that we made to say what is it that people want in 2018, what is it that people expect from a modern radio, we decided to not just change our program but also change the name. That means changing identity. In short, we embarked on a rebranding exercise, and that's what we launched today to say we have moved from SFM or Sport FM to Classic 263.
For the arts community, Classic 263 is a refreshing change that is set to propel the station to greater heights.
My first impression, I was very surprised because I was here 2 days ago. And when I came in, everything is new, everything has changed, the branding, even the equipment, everything has changed. So I was very pleasantly surprised with the new setup. This is very impressive. This is a new lease of life because every time someone or something changes a name, it usually signifies a new beginning or a rebirth. So for us as artists, I think it's a new lease of life to our industry. So we are looking forward to great things.
For ZBC board and management, the rebranding exercise will re-energize the new station, and Classic 263 is expected to grow exponentially by capturing its own niche in a competitive market.
I've held several meetings with the team. What we want are robust debates. What we want are genuine discussions. What we want is a situation whereby the guys start interrogating the developments in the country. Radio plays a very crucial role in national development. And radio can never be put to the periphery when it comes to the national strategic planning. Radio plays a central role.
It is indeed a breath of fresh air, and ZBC is upscaling its scales, moving to a new space in the broadcasting world. And in that context, ZBC is matching the contemporary broadcasters in the world. I think that what I've seen around here, going by what I've seen here, I do know that there's no need anymore for anyone to bother being attracted by any radio station outside Zimbabwe, because we've got what it takes. And I'm looking at the mix of the broadcasters there, and I'm looking at the kind of spaces that they're going to occupy. I think it's going to be very highly informative, highly entertaining, and it's going to be very inclusive. That we have arrived at the station. It says to me, I think this is what we've been aspiring to get to, even the listeners. And I think it says that ZBC has been thinking very hard. I can see a lot of innovation that has taken place, and a lot of playing around with technology to try and mold this station into something that really it makes me very proud.
The positioning of this new brand in the ZBC family is strategic and will boost the image of the corporation as it continues to make strides in keeping its position as the leading broadcaster in the land. For the listeners of Classic 263, radio will never be the same. With fresh new programming, the station promises to deliver. Classic 263, now we're talking.